Hello, good evening. We have a breaking news. Niger's President, General Abdourahamane Tiani'S, has given a long interview on Sahel, which is the national television broadcasting service of Niger. And he said the border between Niger and Benin will remain closed during concern on French military sponsoring terrorism there in the territory of Benin by the border with Niger. And also he denounced the sponsorship of the Western countries of terrorism to destabilize the alliance of the Sahel states. It was a long interview, actually about 3 hours long, or more than 3 hours, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And he don't give so much interview, and you don't see him so much making, public speech or something. But when he comes, he gives you all the tea, all his spills. He gives you a very insightful information that all you need to know on what's happening. Now, let me tell you about those two topics that he focused amongst other things. So the interview was in French, of course.
De partager avec l'ensemble de nous.
But now I'm going to give you the highlights in English. I will read you the news. So this happened last night on June 1st, and Niger's border with Benin will remain closed due to the presence of a French military contingent on Beninese territory. This was announced by the president of Niger, Abdourahamane Tiani'S, speaking on the state television channel Tele Sahel. That's what he said. And of course, it continues. And also he raised other points. Look, quote, he said in his own words, "We kept the border with Benin closed, and the border with Benin will remain closed." Also continuing again, quote, "We are not fighting against Benin, but against the destabilizing French troops who are on the territory of Benin and which can, harm us." That's what he said. Also, he denounced, the terrorism that's sponsored by the Western countries. Now, Tiani'S said the countries of the Sahel Alliance, like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, conducted 3 joint operations in January and February. So the military might of our 3 countries is strengthening. Now, that's what he stressed. As we all know, these countries are really intensively fighting terrorism. Mali also, they are gaining more and more control of their territory as well. Burkina Faso as well. They all are on a high, really intensively going on together, and also, unilaterally with the terrorism, with the terrorist groups that are inside their territory. It's really, really insane. And how the Western countries continue to destabilize this region. On the other hand, they play with you a convince and confuse propaganda. For example, America sends its delegates to Burkina Faso, the administration of Captain Ibrahim Traore. And also they send others to Mali and Niger. And on the other hand, they keep on sponsoring, this terrorism. I mean, France has refused to leave the Sahel region alone. Even if their French military is kicked out of these countries, they continue their sabotaging and, attempt of destabilizing, also sponsoring coup d'etats against these regions, only because they were welcomed by the neighboring countries like Benin and Ivory Coast, who are continuing to be a betrayer and traitor of the sovereignty of the Sahel states. Now, amongst other things that he raised during his interview, Niger closed its borders. The president reminded us that on July 26, 2023, actually they closed its like 3 days within 72 hours after, General Abdourahamane Tiani took power, and following, that military takeover. And then the relation between the two countries have remained tense. Also, now the commander of the guard, Tiani, who is now leading, of course, the Niger's government, initially headed the National Council for Salvation of the Motherland, which assumed full powers, and in March 2025, he was sworn as the president of the country for a 5 transition period, because they have seen that if they allow that democratic election or whatever, where their country will go. So unless they are fully able, taking power, meaning being able to control their territory and their economy and everything, they know that what kind of problem will follow if they allow that election, because election is one of the systems where countries who want to intrude and come and destabilize in your territory use as a pretense by sending and sponsoring things and paying this member of parliaments or whatever other opposition parties to throw you out of power. In fact, so-called democratic election is such a haven for Western countries that they can be part of the power in that country without really raising any arm, because we have a lot of wicked people amongst us just because they are paid, that they are they are ready to throw away their people. And that's how they are. Now, in terms of, the other points that he stressed, the second point he stressed is the denouncing of the Western countries sponsoring terrorism. Let me just get that and I will bring it to you. Yeah. So he said, look, General Abdourahamane Tiani denounced indirect war, that's what he called it, indirect war by West against the alliance of the Sahel state. Now, he accused France particularly and its allies of destabilizing the Confederation of Sahel states through secret networks, armed groups, and regional support. Now, he identified 2 French cells operating in the region. Now, the first, he said, led by Jean-Marie Bockel, seeks to counter Sahelian influence. The second one is the second cell led by France and its Western allies, is Sahel Cell of the Elysee. That's what it's called, Sahel Cell of the Elysee, coordinated by Christophe Guilliou, is allegedly mobilizing the joint foreign and military intelligence service of French Republic diplomats and Francophonie with unlimited funds. Now, regional accusation also alleged support by, first of all, the neighboring country, Benin, is accused of harboring armed group in its northern territories. Benin has a border that shares with Mali, with Niger and other Sahel countries. So with that, he said that's where actually Benin is harboring terrorism, of course, sponsored by France and its allies. Now, the other regional, accusation goes to Nigeria. Nigeria is blamed for sheltering French troops expelled from Niger and supporting their activities logistically as well. Okay. Now, third, he said also a secret meeting in March reportedly brought together Western powers, Boko Haram, and Daesh for an indirect war against IES. I mean, the amount of, pressure and things they have to, these people, they have been put, they are in struggle to get their economic freedom, to put, their destiny of their country in their own hands, and fighting this imperialism, their previous colonial power, France, and then again, this how do you say, collaboration by imperialists and neighboring countries in Africa as well, and using existing terrorist countries, terrorist groups in the region just to destabilize these countries. It's really, really and those of you might ask why Russia there. Well, they need help, and that's why Russia should continue to provide support in terms of security to these countries. Otherwise, it's really, really hard, and before we know it, it will be the end of this revolution. So those of you who have any platform, or in any means that you can, you have to spread the word what these countries are doing to destabilize the region, the amount of pressure and the things that they have to fight in various frontiers, these leaders. It's just sad. Thank you again for tuning in. That was it. He gave a very long interview, more than 3 hours, diving us into all the realities, what is going on in the region, and exposing those who needs to be exposed, those who are the foreign, enemies like France and its Western allies, and then the neighboring countries from the region, Benin, and Nigeria, these are the things that needs to be exposed. So people have to know, the people of Beninese have to know and demand their government to stay away from any actions that is destabilizing the alliance of the Sahel states. The people in Nigeria has to do the same. Bola Tinubu again and again has proved to be, he's a stoogeman, he's the errand boy of the imperialists, and in fact CIA said they were not shy about it. They say Bola Tinubu is an important asset for CIA. That's exactly what we are told on our face. So the Nigerians, it's nobody else. The people in Nigeria have to demand their government, peacefully, and ask Bola Tinubu to stay away from such action. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will bring you this interview in English, the English version, as soon as we finalize some technical work with it. But that was it for now. Thanks again for tuning in, and please share the video with others and support us through our PayPal account and Buy Me a Coffee link. There's super thanks and super sticker as well. And we will see you.
La cellule chargée de